Good evening, I am Gribbly, and it's been a real long time since I've done an actual authentic tobacco review on my channel, which is of course a pipe channel, even though I'm always fishing or hunting or whatever. So tonight, we're going to rectify this situation with a full Gribbly review of Foundry Victoriana Luxury Pipe Tobacco. So I received this tobacco in a giveaway or a trade or something. I can't really remember. I've got a couple of tins of it though. And I opened up my cellar, which is my Huggies box full of tobaccos, and I wanted to open an English tobacco, but I didn't want to open one of my English tobaccos that was like really looked like special occasion tobaccos. I just wanted like a good English, and so I picked up one of these tins because I had more than one. I was like, I'll open this and try it out. And I have never heard of this before I received it. There's not a lot of information about there on it, so I will read you the back of the tin. A characteristic English blend. Foundry pipe tobacco combines supreme Virginias, sweet black Cavendishes, bold Burleys, and smoky Latakia to create a true English classic. Made in the USA by Scandinavian Tobacco Group, Lane Limited, Tucker, Georgia, just down the road. So, I opened this expecting not that much, and I have received not that much in a good way. So I am a pretty straightforward English smoker. I like the quintessential English blends that are very classic, but we can't all smoke Squadron Leader all the time because it's not available, right? So you know, but also because we would get bored, and so I like to branch out into things like Northwoods. My favorite two tobaccos of all time are Northwoods and Beck's Old Limey Bastard, which is basically like Dunhill's 965, but not made by Dunhill and better. Funny how that works out. Anyway, this tobacco is marketed as sort of a, from what I can tell, again, there's not a lot of information, but it seems to be marketed as straight up English with Burley. Straight up English with a little something American to it. And I think that that's pretty accurate in my experience, and I'm about halfway through this tin. You guys have seen me smoking this in my videos. The squirrels love it. SmokingPipes.com currently has it for $8.60 if it's affordable. Pipes and Cigars no longer has it. This item is no longer available for purchase, so I don't know if the Men in Black came and got it, if they have sold out and it won't be made anymore. I don't know. I don't know. That's not the point of this review. The point is to say, I give this tobacco, I give it 4.5 stars. I really, and that seems to be, let's see what tobacco reviews say. They say, they give it 3.3, which is their version of 4.5 stars, because they only go up to 4 stars. So it's a really standard good tobacco. What I was expecting, I'm not a big fan of Lane. What I was expecting was like Burley with English flavoring in it, and that's not what it is. This is actually a quality smoke. And it does, like the Latakia hits you upon the tin note. The tin note is very rich Latakia with some fruity undertones, I think, from the Virginias. It's a little reminiscent of Golden Slice in that regard. The cut, by the way, while we're discussing all the high points that you're supposed to hit in a tobacco review, it's a very, very fine ribbon cut. I really enjoy the cut, and it reminds me of the ribbon cut in Dunhill tobaccos, which was the only good thing about Dunhill tobaccos. So, I feel that the tobacco review profile on this is pretty straight up, even though it's only got 3 reviews. I should write one. I should write the 4th review and make this go down in history as a Gribbly approved tobacco. But anyway, these reviews all date from 2017. So my bet is that this came on the market shortly before the FDA deeming regs and is probably off the market by now, or at least the current stock is all that's available. So if you want some, get it quick. is my bet. I'm not Derek Tant. I don't have any inside sources on that. But anyway, here is my review of this tobacco. It's nothing special in the best way possible. It is a quality smoke that burns as it should and lights as it should and tastes as it should. And I'm just astounded to find a newish quality tobacco. I kind of am a jaded pipe smoker at this point and believe that the classics are the only things I'm going to use, Squadron Leader and all that, only things I'm going to enjoy anymore from in the English realm. But this is really good. And we taste things in comparison to other things. So the thing that what it reminds me of is the original Frogmorton with a little more strength to it with Burley. And the Burley does a really good job of giving English mixtures can be thin in my experience because of the Virginias. And that's why, oh, by the way, another favorite of mine is Pirate Cake. Because when I want that English flavor, I want the English flavor. And so, oh, and by the way, I know this is kind of a scattered review, but by the way, when they talk about multiple Cavendishes, where did I get that? The tin description, multiple Cavendishes in the tobacco. Come on, it's just black Cavendish, right? And that to me is always kind of a hollow ingredient. It's always something that I feel like, yeah, it does add to the tobacco, but it leaves sort of a gap where other tobaccos could have added more. And in this blend, that's where the Burley really comes in. Cavendish and Burley, of course, are pretty much the recipe for every successful codger blend ever, and it has a hint of that. It has it's like if Squadron Leader, well, it's not. I'm sorry, I can't compare it to Squadron Leader. Squadron Leader is top tier. Squadron Leader is the tobacco that I would sit on in a mountain if I were a dragon. And it's no Squadron Leader, but it is a Frogmorton. So if Frogmorton with a little more strength sat on the front porch of an American General store for like 10 years gathering dust before someone bought them, and they absorbed all the Americanness of the Burley tobacco being smoked around them, it would be Foundry. You guys have heard me say that I really like this tobacco, but that I wouldn't buy it again because it's so standard. And that comes from wanting to spend my hard-earned tobacco money on something like GL Peace or Esoterica or something like that. That's fancy. You don't want standard. And yet, as I've been smoking this tobacco, I've been almost exclusively out in the woods. I realize it's joyously standard. It's really, really awesome that this kind of tobacco still exists now that we are without the Frogmortons of that era. And does that tell you what it tastes like? Have I told you what it tastes like? What does it taste like? It tastes like it's got kind of a tanniny bitterness to it, but the sweetness is very subtle. It's a very subtle sweetness, but the Virginias are sweet and the Cavendish is sweet, and the Latakia is Latakia. What's surprising to me, I guess, comes from the Burley is the dryness, while still it's the commingling of dryness and fullness that is brought on by, I guess, the mixtures of the Burley and the Cavendish, and somewhere in there is a bitterness that I really, really enjoy. Not unlike, completely unlike Orientals, which is what you would normally find in an English mixture, but not unlike Orientals in that it adds, it's not without dimension. It's not just Virginia's, Latakias. It's this Burley dimension makes up for the lack of Orientals in a really pleasing way. You know, one of the reasons I don't do tobacco reviews anymore is because I feel like I talk for 10 minutes without actually saying anything, like anything descriptive, anything, I don't know. I hope that if you come across a tin, if you can still get your hands on it, it's cheap, and buy a tin and see what you think. It might, especially if you're looking for the kind of all-day English smoke that Frogmorton used to be, that Squadron Leader used to be, and I'm sure for some still is, but I can't get my hands on it. Squadron Leader, of course, is multi-dimensional, mind-blowing English smoke, and it's not going to stack up to that, but it is when you just want a good smoke with nothing special. It's pretty special. So this concludes a very rare Gribley's Folly tobacco review of Lane Limited's Foundry Victorian Luxury Pipe Tobacco. I highly recommend it, even if it is a little plain. In fact, that's why I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.